Hello, I am live and I am just waiting for Faith to join because we are going to be doing a Instagram live talking about summer holidays and how to save as much money as possible, how to have some free days out. Faith has joined. Oh, next. Oh, my phone's doing all funny things. Apologies. Next. Done. Faith, requesting. You are requesting. Okay, I'm trying, Faith. Let's invite to join. I think I need to invite you, Faith. Hang on. There we go. Good old technical. Hello.
Hello.
Right, there we go. Hello. All right, I need to make sure that we're balanced. Your head isn't bigger than mine. Wow, and I'm facing the window, so you can literally see like every freckle on my face.
A lot of sun around, making sure those freckles come out.
I am so hot.
Yeah. I was just thinking that one of my favorite cheap and fun things to do with the kids is nabbing cheap cinema tickets, because usually the English summer you need something to do when it's chucking down with rain and really cold. And now I'm thinking, no, that's brilliant to do. Escape to somewhere air conditioned, out of the heat.
Yeah, no, exactly. We went to see Thor. I highly recommend Thor. Well, it's a 12 certificate, but my youngest loves Marvel, and we went on Friday. It was really hot on Friday, and it was so nice to sit. And I actually took my denim jacket. I was like, Jack, it's gonna be a bit colder. But yeah, no, that is a good tip. I also noticed Holly, Thrifty Mum, had gone to the cinema today as well to take advantage of the aircon. But yes, so lots of people joining live, so let's make a start of it, because we're gonna do this live for about half an hour. If anybody's got any questions, absolutely fire them in. I will farm the questions, and it might be stuff we're going to talk about anyway. But yeah, what Faith and I are here to talk about is basically how to spend the least amount of money this summer holidays on keeping the children entertained. So we've got lots of free ideas, and then we've got lots of ideas on how to save money on traditional days out with the kids. So yeah, we're gonna sort of talk through all that. And I'm just need to say that this is in collaboration with PensionBee, who we are both brand ambassadors for. That's about the only mention PensionBee's going to get, I think, because it's quite irrelevant to children and families. Or is it?
Given the current cost of living crisis, you're trying to balance all your costs. And if you're able to, save money while having fun with your kids, that can free up a bit more cash to go into your pension. So that's the way I think about it. When you're trying to juggle so many balls with your finances, if you can save a bit of money in one place, you've got something to stash away in another.
Yeah, exactly. And just to iterate, we have quite a lot of experience between us. So our kids are around the same sort of age. I've got 3 boys. You've got a boy and a girl. My boys are 14, 12 and 9. And yours are a bit older, aren't they?
No, 14 and 12. So same as your oldest 2.
Yeah, so we've been through the summer holidays so many times. And I have to admit, sometimes I have been really guilty of spending too much money, and then sometimes I've done a good job and saved. So I've seen both sides of it. Where the mum guilt kicks in, and you feel like, oh, everybody else is doing all this stuff with their kids, and I feel like I should be doing it as well. So we want to sort of battle against that mum guilt. And
I think whatever your kids are telling you, they may be telling you that every other parent, every other child in their class is going to theme parks every single day. It's just not true. And I think with any kids for the summer holidays, it's trying to hit that balance, isn't it? you know, they're probably going to want some downtime when they're just at home or knocking around in the local area. You can go a bit further afield some days, or get some kids over in the hope that some days they'll go back and play with their friends' houses and give you a bit of a break. But then there are ways to save on those big ticket items that can cost a small fortune. So the kind of days out that you might want to, you know, that you're really going to remember, everybody's going to have a great time, but it can cost a bomb. How do you save there? That's what we were hoping to talk about.
Yeah, yeah. So shall we start with what brilliant ideas we've got for free, totally zero cost days out with our families? And this will vary, I suppose, depending on age. But because I've just published an article today which has 10 free ideas of things to do with your family. And you've also published an article, but yours is more saving money on the ticket things, isn't it?
Yeah, some of it's free, some of it's just cheap. I mean, I think for the completely free, I don't know about you, but I kind of scour local listings in our area. So especially when the kids are younger, you know, local libraries can be such a lifesaver with the activities, just getting the kids out of the house, getting them borrowing books, borrowing DVDs, doing the reading scheme if they're at an age where they're up for that. So it gives you a reason to be going backwards and forwards to the library. Again, if your library's got air conditioning at the moment, that could be great. Or when it's just down with rain, then that's a treat. And I think some of our favourite things have been in the local area. So our local hospice did a trail with elephants, really colourful elephants around Ipswich. And you downloaded an app and you went around and kind of, you know, you did the QR code, ticked them off as you went, took photos. There were even freebies given away, sweets and things you could collect from local shops or local solicitors near them. And, you know, we had a really good day out, and it didn't cost anything.
Was that like the because in Cambridge, maybe last year or the year before, they had all the cows. Is it like that kind of?
I think it's that kind of thing. I think in London at the moment they've got corgis painted up because it's the Jubilee year. So yeah, but is that kind of thing can be a reason perhaps to either explore somewhere that's completely new, or go to somewhere you know pretty well, but you might see different parts of it, or it gives you a different reason to get out there.
Yeah, yeah. And on that note about trains, actually, because I love a day in London with the kids, but it can actually be like really cheap to get the train in. So I've got two different rail cards, actually. I've got a network rail card for me when I'm just going in like after 10 o'clock in the morning by myself. But then I've got a friends and family rail card that I also use for the kids. And what that does is that makes my ticket a third cheaper. And then the kids travel for like £2 each into London, I think.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to say, on your network rail card, you can get money off the kids' fares with that. It does cover the children. As you know, if you're the network rail card holder, you can get cheaper fares with the kids, but I don't think it'll be quite as low as £2.
Yeah, yeah. And then, of course, when you're in London, children under the age of 16 travel free on the Underground.
Okay. It's like, okay.
Are you still in that?
I thought I took
my children on the Underground.
But anyway, it's worth checking. It's worth checking because certainly younger kids can go free on the Underground. And if you have travelled in on your train ticket, part of the appeal for that is with the rail ticket, you look out for the Days Out guide website where you can get all these two for the price of one entry tickets to attractions if you travel by train. And you know, really big ones, the kind of, you know, London Zoo, Madame Tussauds, the London Eye, is worth having. The Tower of London, Kew Gardens, these brilliant places, two for the price of one is absolutely worth doing. And you can even access that if you live in London, because we did this once when we were in London. I booked some really cheap return fares, something like St Albans into London, to be picked up at a ticket machine in London near us, and that then meant we could have some time just going out from home but benefit from all these two for the price of one tickets.
Yeah. And all those places you just mentioned, I've done all of them with the kids. In fact, we were talking about Kew Gardens today because the boys popped over. I don't have my children this week, but because I've got a pool, Not an actual swimming pool. I'm not that fancy. It's one of the like best way blow up pool things. And they popped over for an hour, and we were talking about Kew Gardens. Like that is such a cool place to go with the kids. It's huge, and you can climb up that like Japanese tower thing. That's what the boys were talking about. So yeah, no, I love it. And we went to London Zoo about a month ago, which. So it's buy one ticket, get one free.
Yep.
So buy one adult, then you're going to get the child's free. Or if there's 2 adults and 2 children, you get 1 adult free. Oh, hello, Karis. She's saying hello. Yeah, 1 child free, 1 adult free if there's 4 of you. You're a little bit penalised if you're a single parent with 2 children because you only get 1 ticket for free.
Yeah, just take go as a group. Take more people.
Yeah. Yeah.
But,
yeah.
you know, also, I mean, we've been talking about how to save money on some of those big ticket places, but there are so many places you can go in London that are completely free. So, for example, took my son George to London, and a couple of things that he was really up for were the Greenwich Maritime Museum, which is really close to the Greenwich Observatory. As far as I remember, both of those completely free. You just have to remember to book. You have to go online and make sure you booked your time tickets, because a lot of the museums and galleries, they seem to be carrying on what used to happen in COVID times when they were trying to control the numbers, and they seem now quite happy to let it carry on. You've got to book your time tickets. So all those brilliant museums like the Science Museum, the Natural History Museum, Tate Britain, Tate Modern, you do actually have to book them in advance.
Speaking from experience, tried to go to the Tate on my birthday in March. Rocked up, couldn't go in because we hadn't booked a ticket. I was like, oh, kids, I wanted to show my children the Jackson Pollock painting that's in the Tate Modern, which I really like. But yeah, another time. But what was I going to say? RAF Hendon, that's another freebie. That's a really good day out.
And there are lots and lots of local museums and galleries that might have exhibitions or collections that are interesting depending on the age of your child, the interest they have. One thing which I have learned to do over time is if there's a particular exhibition or a particular museum that I think is worth visiting, is then having a look at the map and trying to see if there's a decent playground or park nearby. Because I don't know how it goes for your boys, but my kids certainly, the idea that you can go to some kind of indoor attraction but then also just nip down the road and they get the chance to let off steam, run around, play in a completely different place than they normally would. And so, for example, in London, there are amazing open spaces. Greenwich Park, we're big fans of going to, in Hyde Park itself, there's the Diana Memorial Playground. With a massive wooden pirate ship and sand and water and teepees and stuff, and also Corham's Fields is quite good, right in the heart of London if you're going to things like the British Museum and so on. So it's trying to find combinations of things they're going to enjoy that where there isn't necessarily enormous pressure to spend money. Yeah,
the British Museum, that's quite near King's Cross, isn't it?
King's Cross, Russell Square. Tube, round about there. Bloomsbury. Also near there is the British Library, which is so you do have to join up and be a member, but it is free to become a member. So I've had a wander around. That's an amazing place. Like if your kids are into particularly really, really valuable historic books. Like my kids love to find we'll go into a bookshop and they try to find the thickest book in the bookshop or the most expensive book or the just it has to be the most of everything. But yeah. But also we talked about really sort of big museums and stuff in London, but wherever you are in the country. So I last year I had a weekend in Manchester for my eldest's football, and we stayed overnight because it was such a long way away, and we went to the Manchester Museum of Science and Industry. Again, totally free. So yeah, I think wherever you are, whatever city you're in, and even
like I live in Hertfordshire. There's a museum in Stevenage. There's a museum in Hitchin. They are all free to go in, and they're all giving you like history of the area, and you might just learn something different. It's just something a bit different to do, isn't it? And it's a freebie.
I think it's also trying to get the most out of anything you have spent. So I'm thinking here, if you've signed up for like National Trust or English Heritage membership, so you've paid for that already, then having a look over the summer, because quite often attractions near to you, locations near to you, they might be running activities for kids. There might be special trails, there might be, performances, battles, different things. And it can be a reason to return to places that you've already been to, or a reason just to, get out the book, have a look. Is there something nearby that we haven't been to see yet? And get the kids out, make the most of something you've already paid for. And actually, just thinking about it, National Trust membership, English Heritage membership can be brilliant around if you're trying to get to the seaside, because there's quite often nature reserves, beaches where parking will be free if you've already got the membership.
Yeah. Loads of places in Cornwall, parking's free. I just thought of a really good thing then. So on the South Bank in London at the National Theatre, which is down past Blackfriars, they often have like little performances out on the like walkway for free that you can watch. They've got loads of deck chairs in the summer, so I know I've done that. Very good at finding free stuff to keep the kids entertained, and also do try to take a picnic with you, like a rucksack with some food and some water bottles, because otherwise, you'll end up spending a fortune on food whilst you're out. God, ice cream is fine, isn't it? But maybe you have to take a bit of food to...
Definitely. Even if you can just grab a few packets of crisps and stuff and a water bottle as you're heading out the door, things like the refill app, you can find out where to fill up water bottles when you're out and about. If you don't have time, one of the things we do is nip into a supermarket and get a meal deal rather than going to a sit-down restaurant or perhaps going to a sandwich shop. And for ice creams, although my kids are getting wiser to this, again, if there is a little supermarket, going in and get a multi-pack of ice creams, so like 4 magnums or something like that, is going to be far cheaper per ice cream than if you're buying them individually from a van or from an ice cream freezer. You just have to get the children to agree, or multiple kids to agree on the same one. That's sometimes an issue.
Exactly. I've just managed to get my children to all agree that they like white magnums.
Brilliant.
It's like
was
a miracle.
Campaign over several years. Yes, we will be having a multi-pack of white magnums.
Yeah, literally a campaign for years. So the other thing I wanted to mention, which is another really good freebie that I know both of us do, is mystery shopping. Yes. So there's a company called Pro Insight, who, full disclosure, I know the people that run the company, like they're my mates, but they're a really good mystery shopping company that have some really great clients. They look after a lot of like entertainment stuff for families. They look after a lot of gyms, a lot of swimming pools, a lot of bowling, like Hollywood Bowl, trampoline parks, all these kind of things that you might be doing anyway with your kids. You sign up to be a shopper. Like I think the most recent one I've done is the Hollywood Bowl one, and it's basically like you get one game of bowling that's covered, plus they want you to order food and a drink, which is it's reimbursed after the event. You have to go and review them, answer some questions, take some pictures, go fill in the form afterwards, and then they like reimburse you your money.
And it's I keep an eye. I remember I signed up with Pro Insight as well, and I'll keep an eye as the emails come in offering opportunities in my area. It's zooming in for me in particular. It's zooming in on the ones that are attractions where the kids are going to enjoy. Because if you're given a budget by the mystery shopping company and it says, right, if you're going to be this, it's going to be 3 of you, for example, we will reimburse up to whatever it is, 60 quid to cover the tickets to the activity, and then because they'll want you to order food and drink, so you can choose how you use that budget. And so if I'm going to do it, then for example, I'll book it over lunchtime, because at least that's
Yeah.
one meal taken care of.
Yeah.
And when you're coming out the other side, you've got 60 quid reimbursed, and you might get £15 or so as the fee for filling in the questionnaire and doing the whole exercise. I mean, you do have to allow the time, because it will take you some time to kind
Yeah.
of prep beforehand, fill in the questionnaire afterwards. But effectively, you get a completely free outing for your kids that would otherwise cost a chunk of money. And I think mine quite get into it, because I'll be saying, right, I've got to fill in a form later. I want to know from you, what did you enjoy? What wasn't so good? What worked? What didn't? And they'll be kind of side, and they can also help me as well. So you always have questions like, what's the name of the person that served you, that checked you in?
Yeah.
So I'll try and prompt them so that they're looking out for it as well, in case I forget in the trying to order.
Yeah, and an amazing mystery shop I did was it's ended now, so I can probably say who it was. But I had 6 months worth of membership at David Lloyd, and my nearest David Lloyd is a really posh David Lloyd with all the tennis courts and badminton and an amazing outdoor pool and like the best classes and the best gym ever. And we had membership for 6 months for me and my kids. It was worth something like 200 quid a month. It was a lot of money, and that was all reimbursed. And I did have to do a review every single month. So there was, a chunk of work involved. Like I did have to go to the gym, use all the facilities, and then fill in a questionnaire afterwards. But like, to get that much of a benefit for 6 months was incredible. And I made sure I did those questionnaires like really, really well, like gave really, really good feedback, and was quite harsh when I saw things that weren't right, and, complimentary when they were good. So yeah, I loved it.
And that's something looking out, if you're signed up as a mystery shopper, you're getting the emails coming in, then timing that, for example, so that your membership ran over the summer holidays is brilliant, because then you're actually in a position to take the kids a couple of times a week. And use the facilities, use the pool, use the tennis, use the classes, and get full value from it. So I remember you doing that. I think that is really an excellent one.
I was really gutted when it ended, but I'll maybe try a different gym. But so I'm thinking of other 3 things that I put in my article.
I was going to say, kind of look at loyalty points and to certainly, cashback and so on. What I'm thinking of here is my kids, they campaigned for ages to go to Legoland. And I was always a bit, that's going to cost a bomb, not sure about this. But one of the ways that we ended up going was off the back of a cereal packet. When they had the grown-ups go free to all the Madame Tussauds, the Two Swords group attractions, which is everything from Legoland and the Sea Life Aquarium through to Chessington Worlds of Adventures, Alton Towers. And just by having that magic piece of cardboard and the code on your cereal packet, it meant that you could get an adult ticket when paying for a child. And I think we did it one time. It was the packaging from Club Biscuits. I think I've seen a similar kind of offer on Carex hand soap. So it's kind of keeping your eyes peeled. Normally, I would buy own brand cereal, but spending a few pounds extra on a branded box of cereal could save quite a lot of money when it came to tickets.
Yeah. And don't forget to check the balance on your Tesco Club card or your Nectar as well, because you might have enough. You'll have a value that's built up on those loyalty cards, and you can often triple that, sometimes even quadruple it in value to push towards days out. So Legoland is a classic one where you can, if you've got enough money saved up on your Tesco Club card, you can get free Legoland tickets.
Tesco Club card, if you do shop at Tesco anyway, it's so worth looking at what your club card vouchers can get you, because aside from tickets to the events themselves, I've known people who've got money off the National Trust English Heritage membership, who got their rail cards, £10 of club card vouchers to get a £30 rail card that gets you the third off for a year. So there's different ways that you can use those vouchers that have a real serious financial benefit.
Yeah, and I wrote an article about it for the Mirror a couple of months ago where I hadn't checked my balances on my cards for ages, and I found like 400 quid's worth of loyalty points like saved up. I mean, it was mostly, like, be open and honest, it was mostly my Nectar card and so I collect Avios points using my credit card that's paid off in full each month. I get Avios points. I turned all of that into Nectar points, and I got 280 quid's worth of Nectar points. So always worth checking those points, particularly now over the summer holidays, and making the most of them. So
you see, we get Nectar points. I don't even shop at Sainsbury's that much, but it's one of the cheapest petrol stations nearby.
Yeah.
And now that the price of fuel has gone through the roof, we're getting more Nectar points than we used to do on fuel prices. The other thing I checked recently where I had a really decent balance is your cashback accounts. And so aside from the cashback websites, people like Top Cashback, Quidco, where you can earn a little bit back on your shopping and probably more on things like financial services and contracts every time you click through from the website before buying something. I also get cashback. I have a current account, NatWest Reward. And if you pay your bills by direct debit, they give you a bit of cashback every month. And so that was one of the ways that we got free cinema tickets recently, because rather than claiming my cashback in actual cash, I could exchange it for free Cineworld tickets. And so that's the kind of thing, just having in mind, it might be worth going and having a look what kind of offers they've got going, who they're partnered with, and can you get some good freebies that way?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Right, we've got like 4 minutes left. That's literally like gone like that, hasn't it? It always does on these kind of. I'm just thinking of last quick freebies.
Not quite free, but 2 for the price of 1. Society of London Theatre does Kids Week. There's actually the whole month of August. So if you fancy the idea of going to some of these big shows, we've been to Matilda, School of Rock, Wicked, we're going to Heathers. If you look during August, you can buy 2 tickets, but you only pay 1. So at least it halves the cost.
Yes, I have taken advantage of that before. I think we saw School of Rock, actually, was the last thing. That it does still end up being quite a pricey thing.
Quite pricey.
It is expensive, isn't it? But less, yeah.
Have you got a good freebie?
I was going to say, and this is probably better for smaller children, but I love doing this, and I just still make my kids do it. I create like treasure hunts when we go out into like on walks. So,
treasure hunts and geocaching. Yeah,
treasure hunts and geocaching. I've always found that really, really hard, or maybe they're just really difficult to find near me. But
you know what? Now that my 14-year-old is kind of old enough to do a little bit going out more independently, so he's actually got into geocaching on his own, just in our local area. Pottering around in our little market town to find those. So, and it's quite a good way to get him out of his room.
Yeah, absolutely. But I love doing a like nature treasure hunt with my children. So I'll write a list of like 10 things that they need to find, and some of it might be quite difficult, like find a sycamore tree, or find I don't know, cornflower. So it's really like educating them, because I used to do this when I was little, and I was obsessed with like certain flowers and finding birds and stuff. So I'm really trying to get my children to do it as well. And it's totally free, isn't it? That's probably like the most positive thing I took from lockdown, was all those walks that we did. Like, I still do that now, and I still get my kids to come out with me as well. Like, I just think going for a walk, I mean, well, it's totally free, it's healthy, you're out in nature, or you're out and about, and you can have really open and honest conversations with each other because you're not directly looking at each other.
Yeah.
So, sometimes it is hard to talk to your kids, isn't it? And that just opens it all up and makes it easier. So we've had the most amazing chats about, like, I don't know, what's your plan A for your career? What's your plan B? What's your plan C? What's going to happen if you don't make it as a footballer, to my eldest? And we've come up with all these plans, and I just love it. I just love it.
Yeah, Good chance to chat. Good chance to chat and catch up. Yeah, we have a dog, so going for dog walks helps too.
Yeah, yeah. I did investigate getting the dog. I ruled it out. It's too much of a commitment.
Yeah.
Um, okay. I think we should probably end it. So, that was a very good conversation. That's got to be at least like 20 or 30 ideas. I feel we always like pump all the ideas into these Instagram lives. So this will go live, or it'll just sit on my Instagram page, and I will try to work out how to send it to you so you can put it on your Instagram page. But yeah, thank you to PensionBee for sponsoring this chat. I was looking at my pension today, actually. I'm going to transfer some money into my pension this month, so that's very exciting.
Excellent. I'm waiting for a couple of people to pay me, and then hopefully I'll have some more put in my pension. Yeah.
Yeah, the joys of self-employment and chasing invoices. But yeah, if you want to follow Faith, she's you can see her details on here, but much more with less. And we've both got articles which we've just published in the last couple of days, with packed full of ideas that will save you lots and lots over the summer holidays. So yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. Bye.
Bye.